This book explores the role of earthquakes in shaping the deep timeframes and multi-hemispheric geographies of American literary history. Spanning the ancient world to the futuristic continents of Black speculative fiction, the earthquake stories assembled here reveal the emergence of a broadly Western cultural syndrome that became an acute national fantasy. I call it Elsewhere Catastrophe, an often unspoken but widely prevalent sense that catastrophe is somehow un-American. This fundamental sense of elsewhere catastrophe emerged as an imaginative solution to the contradictions posed by settler colonialism, slavery, and the convergence of racial and disaster capitalism. Catastrophe must be elsewhere because it affirms the rightness of here, where conquest, according to the syndrome's logic, did not happen and is not happening. Elsewhere, too, because catastrophe makes visible the conditions of possibility for alternative futures, offering a tacit reminder that a national modernity forged out of dispossession might be challenged and forever changed by the dispossessed. This psychic investment in elsewhere catastrophe coalesced slowly across centuries. Varieties of it can be found as far back as Plato and in various European traditions of the modern. Yet in its most striking modes and resonances, examined in the following chapters, elsewhere catastrophe proves fundamental to the invention of U.S. America itself. To invoke the invention of America is to signal the hemispheric intellectual context of my own work across several decades. I began graduate school in 1992, the year of the Columbus quincentenary, and not coincidentally, an era in which decolonial theories of the Americas were forming a distinct body of thought. The Argentine-Mexican philosopher Enrique Duce published 1492 El encubrimiento del otro hacia el origen del mito de la modernidad, translated as The Invention of the Americas, 3 years later in a reprise of the earlier Latin American classic La Invención de América, by the Mexican historian and philosopher Edmundo O'Gorman. Where O'Gorman had famously argued that the Americas were not discovered but invented in the image and likeness of Europe, Doucet's 1492 discerned the myth of modernity at the heart of a long European and North American conversation about the modern, a conversation that too often overlooked or denied the role of Europe's encounter with non-European thought worlds.